So good evening, Final Fantasy Randomizer Twitch peeps. It is week 2 of the Duckling Boot Camp reveal. I'm Gregory Puff. Dark Moon is the restreamer. Budgemano is hanging out with me. We're going to do this two-man. It's going to be pretty awesome. So I'm going to run the thing. Budgemano and I are going to talk about what I'm doing. And it's definitely going to be something.
It's going to be awesome. We got Greg Puffy in here for Black Belt Week. Couldn't be better.
Yeah, Kia the Moon saying it sounds like static. Is that true? Do I sound like static?
I think it's coming from Budgemano once in a while.
Yeah. Air conditioner running in the background.
That's
it's filtering here.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I'll try and mute myself unless I'm talking.
No, it's fine. As long as it's like, they can hear us, the people out there. Oh, my cursor. Yes, let me get my cursor involved. You gotta have the 5th Light Warrior with the cursor. So.
Okay.
But,
so
right,
flags are up.
Flags are up. All right, let me actually look at your screen so I can see what you're looking at here.
Right now, just presets.
All right, so yeah, we're going to be doing a Black Belt week this time around. So, last week I played as a Black Belt, but you didn't have to use Black Belt. You use whatever party you want. This week specifically focuses on the Black Belt, so we'll go over that now. On this page, nothing's different than last week, so we can just move on.
So we got Short Topher coming on this week.
Oh, we do. Never mind. I forgot we didn't have Short Topher.
Okay, let me go back. You gotta bear with my potato of a computer right now. Short Topher, there you go.
Yep. Short Topher just means, no
it's
long
short.
Topher.
Yeah.
It's short.
There's only one floor past the orb.
Yeah. They put all the boxes in one room. You gotta have the loot and the key still if that flag is turned on, which it typically is now.
I think it's on by default. You have to actually have unlocked and other stuff to not have that now.
Yeah, so you still need the loot and the key in order for that to work. We've got our Fiend fight tiles, so instead of, going through the earth floor and the fire floor and all that stuff, you just fight all the Fiend bosses basically just back to back to back to back on this floor, leading to chaos.
And a Topher exit, as last time.
And a Topher exit, it's nice, but people really use it. All right.
Okay.
Scaling.
Working.
No, it's fine. It's
Yep.
all good, buddy. It's all good. The only real difference here that I remember from last week is that the HP boss stats are clamped at 200%. So what that means is that they will always start at their vanilla health and go up to twice their vanilla health. So let's take a Tiamat, for instance, who has 1,000 HP. Her HP can be anywhere between 1,000 and 2,000 HP.
And when we say clamped specifically is a term that we used to have for a checkbox that you'd go that would force the 100%. We now can just have sliders and just do it by default for ourselves, but clamped is just that term in the community that means 100% vanilla. Yep.
Counter rate's lower than normal. We got a lot more EXP going on, but outside of that, nothing crazy.
Try and get my computer to click over.
That's fine.
There we go.
Incentives. Looks like no loose here. No tail. Actually, the tail is loose because it's not clicked on the incentive box there. So while the tail exists in the game, it is going to be loose somewhere in the world. But we are running a Black Belt, so we will not be needing a tail. We've got Ice Cave, Marsh Cave, Volcano, and Canaria Locked. And if you don't know what those chests are, that is Ice Cave is the floater chest. Marsh Cave is the crown chest. Volcano is where the flame armor, yes, yeah. Where the red D or the flame armor is located there, just north of Carrie's room. And Canaria Locked is the TNT box.
Mm-hmm. Now, Volcano does not, in vanilla, have an incentive. That is just the flame armor chest. It has 2 trap tiles in front of it, but it's not considered an incentive because it's just armor. But we made it an incentive.
Yep.
Nothing.
Alrighty,
just really open.
Yep. Pretty much the same as last week. Sorry, I'm talking, Budge. You got anything else for us?
Man, these are all pretty basic here.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Nothing different here. Gaia shortcut. It's probably gonna be on.
Yeah.
Again, Gaia's shortcut should just be on by default from now on.
It's so nice.
It's so nice.
Yeah, people that are like, come on, it's annoying that you walk around. Like it made sense in the original game because you found something special, but
Yeah.
we all
Save
know
it for
where
hardcore
is.
now.
Yeah.
Hardcore was slow boat.
No slow boat, please. Worst.
Standard.
You take over, Budge, for just
Yeah, so yeah, nothing much going on here. We got free bridged. One change from last time, I believe we have the better trap treasure is on. That's a flag that's gonna sort of prioritize good gear. So something like you see the ribbon there behind chests that are behind a spike tile. So if there's a spike tile in vanilla, the chest that it's guarding is more likely to have quality gear. That's all that means. And then earlier ruby, that's gonna just try and have the randomizer logic. We'll try and get the ruby on early so that you might have to get, walk through Titan's Tunnel to get to Sarda. Right. Nothing changed here. Well, except we don't have soft in life and battle enabled, so. The key thing we want to look at on this flag set, if we move that window, I believe we have, we have vanilla formations here.
That's better for a black belt.
That is better for a black belt. So we know where our grind tiles are going to be.
Yeah, so a black belt needs to be ground. So knowing where your trap tiles are going to be, where your agama is always going to be on agama floor, where your eye is always going to be at the quote-unquote eye chest, the floater chest there in Ice Cave, that's better for a black belt because you don't have to try and figure out where you're going to do your grind.
I'm back, by the way.
Oh, did you just bail on us? Okay.
Nice.
No, I said Budge take over for a second.
Yeah, but we thought it was just so we could let him talk, not because you were like, I'm going to go somewhere else. You're fine.
No, it's let me go. Sorry, going ahead. You keep going. You're doing great.
All right, so party here. It's a little interesting. We have the force black belt. Obviously, it's black belt week, and then it's your choice. The other three we have, if you want, fighter thief for the other slots, or all the mages come pre-promoted. As Greg said, there is the tail's loose, but we're probably not going to find it. But we're being generous and giving you promoted mages to go with, anyways.
I just want to comment that having pre-promotion outside of an extra credit class, this is spicy. I like this. Like post-promotion, I mean, that's not something we've done before. So you ducks are getting something special here.
Getting spoiled.
Spoiled, yeah. Classes. Let's go to classes.
Class. Let's go.
Classes. Ooh.
All right, so we have the full BB crit rate. That means that black belt is going to be even more ridiculous than it normally is. Vanilla thief agility, so thief is still good, but not as good as it was last week. White mage harm is not on, so harm is not going to be a quality spell, I guess, except undead. But we have thief lock picking at level 10, so that might tempt you to take that thief so you can fade the key.
And that is actually important to note. Like, not having, just get the thief, get him to level 10, and then you can let him die at that point, and you can still, weaken and burnies his body up against things. It's fine. He'll still unlock doors. So, just having that thief is actually a huge bonus here, because who knows when you're gonna get the key or if you need it,
Yeah, the key isn't going to be loose, but it may be behind a dungeon that otherwise you don't have to go to, and then it can save you a lot of time. And then we have one less incentive you have to worry about. Maybe it's an ice. You never have to go to ice. We have one bonus, but there won't be spellcasting bonuses like we had last week.
Well, with your mages
No
promoted, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Gear and items. It clicks through. Giving you, what is the Explorer starting pack? That's going to start you with a couple tents.
Explorer.
Yeah, I think it's the same as last week.
Yeah.
That was last week. All right, yeah.
The 10 tents, the 50 heals,
right.
4 pures, and 2 softs, I think.
So that's nice. Just makes the early game a little bit safer, a little bit faster. And then I believe it was -5 to +5 on our weapon malices. But again, at the end of the game, probably not using a weapon for any sort of damage here. Actually, there is no bloodstain on. Never mind.
No, they're just not on. Yeah.
All right.
Who cares about weapons? It's fists.
Yep. So you
Although
get to see what non-blurst weapons looks like. This is gonna be so weird.
I do like though that you don't get blurst weapons, but hey, you do get elemental bonus.
A little 30. Throw your way.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, I can bring my thief and he can swing, a rune sword at carry or whatever.
Something,
between my black belt punching things to death.
And then everything's standard here. I don't think there's anything of note.
Yeah, nothing
All our
crazy
speed.
on
All
it.
our speed hacks.
Yep.
So the good thing about week 2 is if you joined us on week 1, we kind of went into everything a little more in depth, and we went clearly like 40 minutes talking about this stuff. When you come to week 2, we're done in 10 minutes because we don't need to talk about that stuff. But the good thing is that is on YouTube right now. So if you missed week 1 and you really do need like a an in-depth explanation of all the flags, you can go either watch that show where we talked about it, or you can just go to the website, the FinalFantasyRandomizer.com, and click all those little question marks that Dark Moon was clicking on, and those are our tool tips, and it'll give you everything you need to know. So,
And it is worth noting that Jat did do a nice walkthrough of every single flag in the whole game. I think it's like 2 hours of him discussing everything. Unfortunately, it's about 2 revisions back on the website, so the devs have been devs and just rearranged everything. They didn't really add a bunch of new, like, huge over-the-top flags that need a big explanation, but the tabs are a little different than they were when he did his big thing. But his video, in general, is really good about explaining everything if you just want to go in-depth and learn all the flags start to finish.
Yep. So, I'm assuming we're going to go with me here. So I will be running, and Budge and I will be talking about what I'm doing. So, obviously, we've got the Force Black Belt here in the first slot. As you can hear, I'm trying to move, but nothing can happen. But we do have the one blur scene. Let me get my cursor out of the way for real. We do have the one blur scene, so let's look at that real quick. So we have plus 20 to hit. So what is this, like last week again? We could go up to like 47 and get. Yeah, I know this is better than last week. I think we only had a plus 15 or plus 10%, so pretty good. So there's our Force Black Belt. We're gonna bring that. I think with the thief lockpicking so low, we got to bring a thief, right?
Yeah, that thief. It's a free key at that point. Even if you don't carry it along all that long, you'll get to 10 pretty early.
That's kind of what I was thinking. And extra agility, so that's like 120. It's like absurd. That thief is gonna like never die during the grind. I'm gonna be like, come on, please die. So then at this point, I think to myself, we don't have the harm going on with the white mage like we did last week, and we have promoted classes. So I'm thinking we need like more damage at least up front. So I'm thinking like red wizard, black wizard, or we could even go double red wizard. What are you thinking?
I guess with your promoted, the red wizard might not be a bad take. Let's see what the black belt or black mage has.
Yeah.
None of those are really great.
Why I'm thinking the red wizard is specifically for like healing spells, like a heal 3 or a life or something like that, or a wall. I mean, we basically just need some sort of healing magic in case things go sideways in the early game. But after that, once we get the black belt on board, it's like you don't really need white magic. You kind of just need to go.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, red black might be what I do, but we'll see what you pick.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I was going to go with. So we're going to go red black here. So let's see, Dark Moon here, because gotta be nice to the people that hang out with you. I had to throw ale on there. Yourself referred to as. I mean, I typically call myself Puff on here because it's 4 letters, and I mean my name's Greg, but I'd rather go with Puff.
Puff's good. You're the Puff. Yeah, that was last year, but you know.
Yeah, exactly. Do you prefer Minot or Budge?
Oh, surprise me.
Yeah.
I was Minot last week, so we'll do that.
Yeah, we'll do Budge this time.
Should put to work. All right,
so here we go. I guess Dark Moon starts the timer when I go, or do we get a countdown? What's happening here? Dark Moon. He's
do I start the timer?
He's probably taking his cholesterol pills and.
I think I start the timer. So
dinner or whatever.
Yeah, give me a countdown. I'll start the timer.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So first things first, you're gonna want to move your thief to the front row. You can't start with the thief in the front row because you obviously have that 4th slot there. Secondly, we're going to go straight to here to check what our magics are going to be here. As you notice, the red mage red wizard putting the hands up when it's a spell they can learn. Obviously, none of these spells are any good to pick up. So
no,
move on.
Doing nothing there.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. These are not, this temper specifically is really great, but it's not great right this second. Ace 2's good enough for the time being, so we'll
take those.
Yeah, we'll take those for now.
That's a good early game sweeper for us.
And I don't think I'll need hold because I'm more than likely gonna grind in Volcano, so it's not like I'm gonna really need hold to land on carry or anything.
Yeah, hold's one of those spells. Oh, man. Check.
Oh no, go on ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hold's one of those spells. It's good if you don't have anything. If that Ice 2 wasn't in that Black Magic shop, hold is something that could get you through Garland. It's also obviously something you could use against Carry 1, along with Confuse. She's weak to some of those status spells, but.
So all these checks that I'm doing right now is mainly for everybody out there in the world watching this. I would not recommend checking any of this stuff. Like check your magic, go check your white and your black magic, and then immediately leave the city because there's nothing you're gonna need in these two shops that you can either afford or there's just nothing you're gonna need, especially out of the weapon shop. Now out of the armor shop, you can maybe afford a silver bracelet, maybe, but probably not. So there's really no reason to check it. And then as far as the items are concerned, you can check it for the vendor item, but you already got all this stuff. So, everyone always says I think it was Dead Pulse that says you want to be in and out of Canary in 45 seconds. So.
Yeah, and even if the vendor item is in that shop, you're not going to have money for it now. So might as well go beat Garland, get your levels, and then you warp back. You can check it there, and you might have some money to, if we needed items, pick it up then. That's really what I like to do.
Yeah, so, and then the pretty standard play here, especially in the early game, if you have a sweeper, is to do the run, sweeper kind of move there. Just because, I don't really need to kill the wolves, but if I kill the wolves, that's cool. If I run away, that's cool too.
Yeah, they'll give you level 1 to level 2 or 3, and that's about the last time you want to fight a wolf. Notice here, Griggly did not open any of these boxes because we don't need boxes when we're running a black belt.
One thing I was going to say too, on top to kind of piggyback off of that, is you'll notice that I'll always use weight when I'm fighting Garland, specifically with anybody that isn't going to do damage anyway, because it's quicker to put weight than to attack. It saves you maybe a second or so, or like half a second, and that over the course of an entire seed, is minutes. So even though we got the ship in the canal and we could leave the inner sea right away, we're gonna go to Provoca. And typically, if you have a sweeper, there's no reason to check any shops or anything until you kill the pirates, because the pirates are worth lots of money, and you're more than likely not gonna wipe on them. So you just wait, ice 2, ice 2.
Yep, this is one of the safest fights in the game if you got a sweeper.
Yeah.
These pirates are no HP, they're pretty weak. There'd be no issues.
Yeah, so we're already level 5, and I didn't see what kind of money we got, but I'm sure it was huge. There's the key that we definitely did not need, but hey, we got it. It's fine. We can go do some stuff. Dark Twinge did miss the blessings. Hey, there's our loot for sale, so that's our key and our loot right away.
Yeah, let me see if I can drop those. At least the 2 important ones I'll put in the chat.
So one thing I did say, and I kind of misspoke, if you have a red wizard, you can check the armor shop because chain armor is pretty good for the red wizard. That'd be the only thing you'd want to look for. So here's just more garbage white magic.
Yeah, nothing good there.
Yeah, it's so bad. I mean, the
lamp for the memes, but yeah, that's not. We don't have improved lamp done, so.
All right, and then again, not like the greatest. I mean, the Fire 3's good. It's going to get us through Ice Cave.
It'll be good in Marsh as well.
Yeah, and Zap is fine. I'll pick up Zap for insta-kill fun. Kiku 111, wondering if I'm using a console. Actually, no, I'm using an emulator. So I'm using BizHawk Aroni. So this is Final Fantasy Randomizer is what we're doing here. If you are interested in what we're doing here, go to our website at FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. And that'll get you some stuff. So once you do that, you check that. You notice I didn't go to the weapon shop. There's no reason to go there.
Yeah, we don't need weapons.
Yeah.
We might not equip a weapon the whole seed unless we find something good for that red wizard.
Yeah. And so typically, if I got the key pretty early on, I would go start checking spike tiles, but we know what's going to be on spike tiles, so there's no real reason to go to Toph Locked. But I will open all the boxes here because, hey, that Thor's hammer I can sell.
And the key is extra good here because this incentive is turned on and you get 10% experience per incentive item. So that ruby, the early ruby showing up. But yeah, that's going to be extra experience for a black belt when we do start doing our grind.
So I have two options here. I can go to Marsh Cave now. I can go do the ruby turn in and talk to Sarda, or I could go to Crescent Lake. So I've got those three options here. So you think about what you want to do. Okay, that Thor's hammer probably could sell for a lot, but it is good AoE to have early on. I don't have a ton of money to pick up things in Elfland, and yeah, I could go into Marsh Cave and walk myself out, but I don't know. It seems like that could be a lot too. So I might do Sarda first, then Crescent, then maybe make my way back around the Marsh, just depending on what I have. But I'm really hoping for the canoe.
Yeah, I like that play, and you know, you can route in. You got the southern dock to Elfland. That's a useful thing to keep in mind. It saves some time coming back around to the inner sea. So,
yeah. So I'm gonna probably move the Thor's hammer over to Puff because I want my thief to actually be the runner here. And again, this is more of like the run AOE run, you know, run AOE kind of thing that you'll do.
And at level 5, let's say that level 5, the black belt's not doing much, so the Thor hammer actually gives him something to do here.
Mm-hmm. And normally, again, if the spike tiles were shuffled, I would consider going to Earth Cave to check all the spike tiles in Earth Cave, but you know, we don't have that going on. All right, arachnids have glance.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so you'll notice I immediately reset. Not the main reason why is because they ambushed me, and one of those glances is going to eventually hit. And I don't need to watch them try to glance at me like 7 or 8 times in a row and then try to run after that. I'm just going to go on ahead and reset. No reason to watch any of that. So checking these boxes only for money purposes.
Yeah, you got a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Not sure it was worth it. All right, so we're here to Sarda. I do like this encounter table because it looks like there's a run, you know, relatively soon off the hard reset, and then there's like a pretty big run after that.
It's not going to help us much early on, but
yeah. But you know, in case we want to look for a black belt, maybe, a T-Rex, but we're not looking for T-Rexes. We're.
Yeah, what do you think of your grind here?
Yeah.
What's your thought? We'll get a canoe to open either ice or volcanoes. Eye and Agama are sort of the traditional ones you'd think of.
Yeah, I mean, the main one I'm probably going to go with is the Agama because it is on the way to a fiend fight. And it's like the two tiles are like kind of right next to each other, so you don't have to worry about the off-tile encounters. Whereas like in Ice Cave, you know, things can get pretty scary pretty quick in Ice Cave, especially if you hit, you know, you Dan everybody off, you're about to start your grind on the eye, and then all of a sudden you get ambushed by like, you know, a undead party pack or whatever.
Well, and with vanilla tiles, you got to get through that undead party pack on the way out, so it's not. Yeah. It's definitely not a free grind.
No, it's definitely a little bit scarier. So we're gonna see what Crescent has. We're really hoping here for the canoe. If not, then we're gonna obviously have to go to Marsh Cave, and we made, you know, I wouldn't say we made the wrong play. We'll have more money now than we did before, so you know we can do Elfland in like one go. But I would really like this to be the canoe because then we could just go on ahead and head into wherever I was talking about. Get that one from Rich?
What do you mean when you say Dan off party members? I don't know exactly where that phrase came from, but danning off a character, that just means killing them. Once your characters are dead, they don't split up the EXP. So if you run that black belt by itself, as opposed to with 4 party members, it's going to get 4 times the experience. So it makes your grind just go that much faster. That's why you'll see some of the runners, if you watch some of the spring tournament races, they'll have characters named Dan, and that means they're just saying they're planning to kill him off early.
All right, so we got Nuke at level 6 here. It's not a great place to find Nuke, but I do like to still pick it up, even though we have to wait until we're level 16 in order to use it. Normally, you would grab Brack if it's early, but by the time Brack is going to be useful for this party, we're not going to need Brack. You know what I mean? Like we're not going to need Brack to do cheeky insta kills on Kraken or whoever, Kraken or Tia.
Yeah, no, that problem is going to be solved by this black belt.
Yeah. So we got level or we got adamant. So we've got like a turn in we got to do here. So we'll probably do that first, even though there's definitely we don't have the canoe, so it's kind of harder to get to the dwarf cave, and then we also don't have the TNT, so this will be a potential double dive of dwarf. But at least we have the key, so we can check those lock boxes down there.
Yeah, what are your options here? Yeah, I mean, your options are either do that or go to Marsh, and you got to sail around the world anyways, so might as well check the free incentive, and like you said, maybe you'll get something good in that box to help set up a grind.
Yeah, we're hoping, like I said, we're hoping for that canoe. Like I said, it gets us into Volcano, gets us moving.
We don't have Northern Docks on, right? So a canoe's got to come soon.
Yeah, it's gonna be sooner than later, considering what the incentives actually are: Volcano and Ice Cave.
It's either here or Marsh, really, right?
Yeah, pretty much. We were basically playing the odds there. It was like a 33, 33, 33 that the canoe would be one of those places. Now I did just walk by there. That's because I'm coming down here mainly again for money, and because it's a free check. If we get a ribbon out of this, that's pretty cool. Power bomb. Kind of good. All that money.
Some money. That might get you some level 3 and 4 spells.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, wasn't worthless.
No,
it wasn't
I say
exactly
the
what
power
you're
bomb
looking for,
was
but
definitely... Power staff. Power staff selling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, this is my least favorite thing without the canoe.
Oh yeah, without early or extended open progression, you can't just walk down like you can. You might see in spring tournament people just walk right down there. That's not open here.
No.
So we got to sail down to Elfland Dock and take the long way around.
So you'll notice there, I kind of had a feeling on the encounter table there, so I knew an encounter was coming, and so I would save the game, do a soft reset, which is like not a power cycle, and then I would hit the encounter and then immediately soft reset again, so I wouldn't even have to bother with the encounter, running away from it and stuff. So I will say this black magic, not great by any stretch of the imagination.
So far, we got Fire 3, we got Ice 2. That's about what's not plus here. Locked out of both.
Yeah, and this is the kind of risk that you take bringing a red mage versus a white mage. This can happen. Obviously, you're seeing it now firsthand. We are completely locked out of Life 2 and Cure 4. Sometimes that's just the risk you make when you take a red wizard versus the white wizard. We were hoping those Life 2s or Cure 4s would be in other places. So hopefully, maybe we'll get something good here.
So you checked white in Crescent, right? So
yeah, I did. It was no, I didn't. No, I don't think I did actually. Anyway,
no.
But at least we got warp here.
Yeah, warp would be nice. Light 3 and one more sweeper for us.
So yeah, I'll grab those. I'm not gonna grab Bane. I just don't really see the purpose in it. And then I'm gonna check this mainly because I could stand to have some camping gear. Houses are pretty good.
Cheap houses. That's nice.
Yeah. So I'll grab a few of those. Actually, I'll grab probably a few more of those. I don't really see what else I'd be spending my money on at this point. Now that we've got
only if I see a vendor item here. Oh no, you're in the item shop. So.
Yep. And then when I was in Crescent, I grabbed the the chain armor here. I can grab a pro ring if I want to. I've got enough money for what looks like 2 of them. If I really wanted to, I would definitely do it. Pro rings aren't too bad. Definitely.
Yeah, pro rings are nice to give you resist death, so that's gonna help against which ones are the death elements? That's Rub, Quad X.
Quad X. Mm-hmm. When did we get Nuke? We grabbed Nuke. It was level 6.
Yep.
Right. So again, sorry. What I'm gonna do now is I have a choice between either killing Astos or going to Marsh Cave. Now I'm gonna kill Astos first, and the reason why is because I'm hoping that Astos will give us enough levels for me to at least get a couple of warp charges. So I don't think it's gonna happen, but we'll see. Otherwise, I'm gonna try to get some levels. Oh, there's a crystal.
Is it level 8 to get level 4 charges on that Black Mage?
It's.
Or is it 10? I can never remember these.
I think it's 9 to get level. At least on the Black Mage. Now on the Red Mage, I want to say it's level 10.
Yeah, the Red Mage is longer.
Yeah. So there's our level 9 there. So that again gets us a crystal. Now we could go turn in the crystal, but I am right next to Marsh Cave, so there's absolutely no reason not to do it. So we got 2 warp charges. Good enough. That'll get it. That'll get us. That'll make Marsh Cave a lot quicker than if we had gone earlier. And we have a few more levels too. So.
And with those cheap houses, you'll be able to pop one, get all the charges.
Yep.
You'll be good to go.
Yep. Houses. If you find cheap houses, they're like invaluable, in my opinion.
No, houses are amazing if they roll low like that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna burn off an encounter before going in. It's not like super necessary, but we know that first encounter is kind of like right off the hard reset, and we can get rid of it, and then hop in.
Yeah. So what Gregley did there is he hard reset. He walked until that first encounter came, and as soon as you see that screen flash, you just hit soft reset, and you're off. You just skip that encounter.
And then, as you can see, there's like a huge encounter a huge run between encounters 1 and 2. So we're going to be lucky enough not to even see an encounter in this place, hopefully. So we are going to try to kill the wizards. I'm not really sure why at this point, because they're doing things I don't want them to do, and we're not killing them efficiently.
Come with the power stick, that'll help.
So I'm already teaching you guys bad things. Don't kill the wizards.
Especially with only 2 of them, it's not going to give you much experience.
Yeah.
Dark Twin saying in chat here, tier 4 charges at level 8 for the Black Mage, and you get a second at level 9, and level 10 for the Red Mage.
Dark Twin's knowing more than me. All right, so this actually ended up working out great.
Yeah.
Now we have 2 more things, 2 more little
That's convenient.
No. So actually, I don't know which room is longer, the second floor or the floor. You know, I should know the answer to that question so that I could have warped around for the least amount of steps, right?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't actually know. I want to say the second floor feels longer, but there's free steps on that one. Well, there's free steps on both, so.
Yeah, I feel like the second floor might have been the shorter of the 3, but it's fine. We're here now, dealing with unrunnable shadows. I mean, the battles could have been worse on the other floor, so it's fine. Plus, we're level 10. Everything's good.
We're good. Well, we already have a free key, but if we didn't, your key is there now.
Yep. All right, so again, we're going to just kind of feel our way to that first encounter. And because we know the second encounter, it's just so ridiculously long. Like, I think I should be able to make it all the way to Elfland, like, no problem.
Yeah, you'll have to see when you get something like that early. Just makes routing in the open world so much better.
So I'm going to use a house there, mainly because I want to be able to warp out of here when I talk to the prince. Give him the herb. There's our floater. But we still need the canoe.
Well, we got a crystal turn in, so it's...
Yeah. I don't really have very many options at this point. The thing I love about the ocean too is like there's so much less encounters on the ocean that sometimes you'll skip that like initial encounter off the hard reset, and you'll get something like that where like there's just a hero run on the sea. Hey,
There you go.
Snail.
We're not going to do anything with that. Nice to have.
Yeah. Here's our canoe.
There we go. We're going to get in the air here in a second.
Yep. So always, when you're in the situation that I'm in, where you have warp, always use it. Just anytime you're anywhere. Always going to save you some time.
Yeah, that's the one I had to learn is use those warp and exit charges, and then especially if you have a house, you can just spam them as much as you want and then recharge when you go in a dungeon. It's all these little time savers that they add up over the course of a siege for a couple minutes, and for somebody who's lost 2 spring tourney races by 7 seconds, that can make a big difference.
Yep.
So.
All right. So I'm actually, normally I would be like, let's go grind some agamas, because I figured we'd have the canoe long before we had the floater. But we have both. I'm actually interested to see, damn it, I did not mean to use that house. I am interested to see what is in the desert area for us. Maybe we'll find a mystical, magical T-Rex. I don't have a ton of camping gear, so this is like, not the greatest thing to do with our time. But again, It's just one of those things we can show off here. Oh.
Yeah, so I mentioned it last week, but the game is split up into different encounter zones that determine what pool of enemies you can run into, and there are 4 split between this main desert here that you can check. So Greg checked the bottom right, lower left. He hasn't seen the T-Rex yet. What he's doing is a hard reset. See what this first encounter is. We're looking for a blue stake. There it is. So now we know, depending on how tanky this is going to be probably one of the best grinds you can find for a black belt. You're just going to get, might get over 10,000 experience per fight at this point with that black belt if it's taking it down solo.
Yeah, the problem is that I'm not sure how we're going to be able to kill this thing, and it's got stun touch.
Yeah, and you don't have the camping gear like you said, so...
Yeah.
So that's sort of the downside of this, is you need a ton of gear, but if you can find cheap tents, get 50, 60 tents, and come into this grind, if you can kill that T-Rex, this becomes one of the safest grinds in the game, because you save after literally every fight.
Yep.
And there is no trying to get it out through ice, or you don't have to, fight carry on your way out of a volcano. It's just, It's all free. Yeah, I see 5,000 experience just for that fight with 3 characters up.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I wanted to, I could potentially do kind of what I did there, right? I have one more house. I could take the battle one more time. I could just use tempers and saber monks, because I've got that, and that will, boost the power of my black belt. Plus, the black belt has that, what's it called? The crit rate is not halved.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I can kill off my characters. Yeah. So
that works. And you're going to get that extra hit even sooner with the 20% agility. So that instead of 21, that's going to be, it's going to be 18? Or even lower than that.
So I'm going to kill the T-Rex here. I'm going to be down to a solo black belt. I'm going to have my 6th hit there. And then I could potentially... We'll see. We'll see what the potential is. But now I could go potentially into... what's the place I'm thinking of? Volcano with the solo black belt. And then grind some agamas. Now, this is a pretty risky play. I wouldn't recommend it for... many people.
This is spicy. Level 18. You have that really long run off after the first encounter. You might be able to get most of the way down to that agama without seeing anything.
Yeah, and that T-Rex is pretty chonky. Like I think it's somewhere between like 5 or 600 and like 1,000 HP. So it's pretty chonky for sure. All right, so we are going to go on ahead and do it because I'm feeling it. I'm feeling froggy.
I like it. I always take volcano too early, so this is right in my wheelhouse.
All right, so Ale is my thief, so I'm going to put him in the front row here, just again for ambushing purposes. If the Agama ambushes you in the middle of a grind, like if it has a higher ambush rate anytime it ambushes you, that just costs you time during your grind. So it's always good to have that advantage, and the 120 agility is the advantage. If you can ambush it, that's even better. That saves you even more time, because then you're not worrying about turn order. You're just always getting the first hit.
Yeah, and even though that thief is dead, you're still getting the bonus there when it comes to, encounter, ambush and preemptive strikes. So you still have to keep them up. And also, I don't think Agmas are going to run from you, but you can find in some of your grinds, if you keep that black belt up front, they'll start running from you, and it just wastes time. So.
Right, so we did make it here. We figured we probably would. Forgot that I had reset. Got a little dumb there. All right, let's see what this Agama's all about. Okay, that's a good Agama. All right.
We're in.
Yeah, yeah. Just depends on what this Agama has for us.
Yeah, it's a little over 6,000 instead of, I think you're getting 15, 17,000 off that T-Rex, but it's one punch and done. So in the end, I think this is a good grind here. Yeah, Rich, it is vanilla agility on the thief. I don't know what that actually is. So then we have the plus 40 blessing.
Is it vanilla? I thought we had the plus 80.
I'm pretty sure it was just vanilla this time.
Oh, well then in that case,
vanilla thief. So I don't know what the vanilla agility is. Maybe somebody out there.
The vanilla is just, it starts at 0, but they basically get agility bonus almost every level. Or is it luck that they get almost every level? Oh, whatever. Doesn't really matter. My apologies. It's been so long. It's been so long since we played with the agility buff not turned on with the thief, which I just assumed it was on.
Dark Moon pushing for more. 120, 140.
Yeah. So we're gonna probably go to like about 36, I think is where we get our 10th hit. 36, 37, somewhere in that general area. It'll be overkill. It'll be more than we need. Especially with Power Bonk and the 2 Temper Casters.
All right, Dark Twin jumping in says starts at 10 agility, so we're starting at 50.
That's still pretty good.
With the plus 40. Yeah, that's better than all the other classes.
Yeah, that's really good. 50 agility still like, there's a little bit of you'd notice a little bit between that. I remember there was like a big conversation in spring tournament planning committee about 50 versus 80 on the thief when they were coming up with the spring tournament flags, and I felt like at one point we stuck with 80, but I felt like there was like they talked about how negligible the difference between the two is.
Whatever it is, it's better than the other classes. So having that thief up front it's going to be a benefit no matter what.
Yeah. So and then another thing during a grind is like obviously you want to make sure you keep your HP up on your person. But don't feel like you need to heal between every battle because that can slow you down too. And we know this Agama's not like really hitting that hard. But I would say the hardest hit we saw so far was like that last one that just happened. So, if you get 2 hits for that and a crit comes in, it could potentially get pretty close to 200. So I will go on ahead and heal up.
Yeah, you always got to watch out. In theory, they could ambush you and then get turn order, so it could be 2 punches in a row you gotta tank, even if you're one-shotting them. So
yep. Yeah, but there you go right there. We were able to get the ambush, and that probably has a little bit to do with that thief being in the front row there.
Got our 8 hits. 135. I think that each 10% I think roughly takes 3 levels off of these hit breakpoints.
Yeah.
I think what it is, so
I think you're right. So 42, close. That would be 36. I think is what we're probably going to stop at. Let's see what I do with this Agama next time. Yeah,
there it is.
All right. So
yeah, so you're not 42 to get the MDEF, but you got the fully operational punch cannon going on now. So. Yep.
And then can't forget your incentive item.
Oh,
because I almost did.
I had forgotten that as well. So good catch.
Yeah. So the incentive is on here in Volcano. So if you felt like you didn't want to take the risk of maybe taking on this red D with a solo character, you could always come down and check the incentive first. I should have actually checked the incentive beforehand because of the extra 10%, but yeah, you live and you learn.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, that 10% is probably not going to maybe it saves one fight at the end of the day.
We are going to fully heal up because you never know what Carrie's going to do. Plus, we still have to do somewhere between 600 and 1200 HP on her. So,
Yeah,
I did well over the 1200. I think it's fine.
it's always good to respect everything except Lich, I guess.
Ooh, I almost used a crown instead of a house. That would have been really bad.
Ooh. Could have watched a double grind there. That would have been fun.
Yeah. Make sure you slam your airship into the gates around the city.
And crash into mountains and forests and every possible opportunity.
Well, oh. Hey, my wife had to to bathe our kitten, and she was not happy about it. That's what they're telling me about. So everybody in Twitch world. All right, so we've got warp. We've got everybody back alive, and we just basically need to find all of our incentives, right?
Yep, so we can't get into Earth without the rod. We don't have Oxale. We don't have Cube, so we can't get any feed dungeons. So ice is pretty quick, especially got warp,
And we got
and it's right here. So
no. The kitten or the wife. It's funny. All right, so yeah, and we should be able to make it to the warp trick pretty quickly, and we should have plenty of warp charges because I know I took at least a couple levels with that T-Rex on my black mage and red mage. And then at this point, once you get here, you really don't need to take battles. Oof, crack.
That makes that eye grind even more ugly. I don't want to do that.
See, that's the kind of stuff I was talking about there, where you're you're potentially hitting off-tile encounters. So yeah, that was actually really good that we didn't come down here and try to grind.
Well, then you just use all your warp charges, get as many floors up as you can, and just get out of there.
Yep.
Quick and easy.
Saving the game, don't forget to do that every time you leave a dungeon. Safety saves lives, as Asher would say.
Ravioli 500 asking in chat what kind of flag sets we'll use for the Summer Duck Derby. It's based on Spring Tourney 2022. We'll have a couple of different flag sets. We'll release those soon for everybody to start, practice on what we'll actually have for the Derby itself. But there'll be, if you're not aware, the Derby will be a 4-week tournament followed by a finals. So it'll be 5 weeks total. Probably you'll see Spring Tourney 22 flags in there somewhere one of those weeks.
Yeah. So right now what we're doing is, this is more of a proximity play than anything, because Earth isn't incentivized, but I did just get the rod out of the TNT turn-in, and well, I'm right next to Earth Cave, so I may as well go down here and punch an old man in his cave. So,
yeah,
oh, go on ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, once you get the black belt up and running, it's really just finding those items and then clearing dungeons. You're ready to go for Topher at this point, so.
I mean, I could feed him some cake too, I suppose. I could try to feed him cake, but before he gets punched in the face. Like, basically, we could try to feed him the cake, and if he says no, we'll just punch him for not taking our cake. Come on, brah. This cake. Who says no to cake? So what we'll do here from now on is we're gonna basically always check that chest. We're gonna basically try to figure out routing wise what makes the most sense, what we can do the quickest together. So there's a few things I can do here. I could go to Waterfall. The problem with going to Waterfall is that I don't have the Oxiale, right? So then if the Oxiale isn't in Waterfall, then I have to come back to that same continent. We have the bottle, which we can turn in pretty quickly, so I'd probably do that.
You
Then we have ordeals as well.
And you haven't found the vendor item yet, have you?
No, the vendor item was the loot. It was in Provoca.
I missed that. Did you buy that?
No, I didn't have the money
Okay.
for it.
I did not see that. was gonna say, otherwise we had 50-50 there on Guy and Unrack, but I've already found it.
Yeah. I have to, and that's one of those things that's really easy to forget that you saw that vendor item, especially the loot, something you don't need until the very end of the game. So you got to always remember that. Keep that on in your mind there. So as you can see, Lich is dead. Guess we'll do the bottle next, and then we'll go to ordeals if the bottle doesn't turn into, the Oxyale or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do. You really don't want to double dive the Unrack continent just because there's you have the free encounters, so it'll be quick, but it's just not very attractive. Bottle's free, do that, and then route in from there.
Yep.
Let's see what we get.
So, and there we go.
Oxyale. See? Pays off.
See, sometimes life works out okay. One thing I do want to say is don't forget the vendor item. Obviously, we know the loot's in Provoca, but don't forget that the caravan exists either. I've seen plenty of runs for newer runners, and they're like, I can't find progression. And you're like, oh, did you check the vendor item or did you check Canaria's item shop? And they're like, oh, no, I didn't even think about it.
So the vendor one it can trip you up.
Yeah, but don't forget to check these two. I didn't really need to grab those houses. I was just doing it since I was showing you guys the thing, but I was going to probably run with the amount of houses that I had there. So, go on ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, Forsaken Sandnets had a question in chat of, is it not worth promoting Black Belt? And it actually is, it's a big negative to promote the Black Belt early. So the reason that is because each level, the Black Belt gains +4 MDef, which is, your stat to help resist different, enemy spells and all the instant kill spells that are, so troublesome. But once you promote, the Master actually gains +1 MDef. So you promote too early, you're really kind of crippling your Black Belt as you get towards the end game. Pretty much every other character, it's a bonus to promote, but if you're running a Black Belt Seed, you really want to delay promotion until you finish your grind. So at this point, if the mages weren't promoted and there was, some spell Greg really wanted in a promotion locked spot, you could promote, so you'd unlock that spell. But at this point with unlocked mages, there's no reason for him to promote. It would just be a waste of time at this point, really.
There's our slab. So that's kind of annoying for the slab to be where it is, just because we got to go back to Melman, back to Lefane. And at this point, we're still looking for the cube. So I'm assuming the slab's gonna lead us to the cube since we have our key. And there was really nothing else in the incentive pool besides the key that we didn't need.
So we got, what is open to us? Ordeals isn't incentivized, so that would have been a bad check.
Yeah, I'm glad. Because it was all starting to come together. I was like, wait a second, I don't think I need to go to Ordeals. So.
Oh, let's see. We found the tail that was loose. Yeah, so really, loots and Provoca, cube's got to be
the slab translation. Yeah. So it was good that normally you would want to try to get the slab and the bottle translation kind of done together, but it was actually good that we did the bottle first because obviously we got the Oxyale and we only have to do this twice and then the slab, or do this once, and then the slab was there in Waterfall, so the routing ended up working out okay. So we weren't kind of flying all over the place, but we will have to go back to that area. But luckily, because we know it's going to be the cube, we'll just be right there next to Mirage. So we can just go in a Mirage and start killing stuff.
Yeah, that'll be quick.
Yeah.
So one thing you'll notice is he's walking through all these dungeons, hug the bottom of rooms, walk in front of all the doors you can. Those are just the free steps.
Yep.
Just
right
trying
there.
to build that into your routing. Yep. Been a pretty tame seed so far. I haven't seen many packs with nasty things. Maybe we'll get some exciting stuff in Topher.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life.
That's what the people want to see.
Yeah.
They want to see pain.
Alright, so should be pretty close. I'm not even going to bother healing. Just going to go right at it here. But we are going to temper up. Oof, that slope could have actually been pretty devastating on that black belt if it landed.
Double
Ooh.
temper. Ooh, tanky Kraken.
Yeah. Yeah, between 800 and 1600, but okay.
Not 2500, so.
Keep thinking my houses are over there when they're just below.
Yeah, I hate
Also, another thing too is the old river walk. So every time you walk in and out of the river, it does not advance the encounter table. So walking in, walking out, walking in, walking out. So right now, instead of getting 6 steps advancing the encounter table, I'm getting 0 advancing the encounter table. 1, 2, 3, 4, well, 5. You know what I mean? But just throwing that out there. Yeah, that's another thing you'll see vets do a lot. Another thing you may have noticed or you may not have noticed is I did not go into Melman when I was over here, and the reason why is because I wanted to route in slab translation with going into Melman. So hopefully we'll have like a life spell, not just an exit. Maybe fast will be here.
Fast will work.
Yeah, that'll be
Fast
fine.
is good. Lock 2 is a useful spell. Probably not going to need it here with this scaling, but if the fiends roll with really high evasion, Lock 2 will just enable you to start getting some hits off.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to bother picking up the exit because we got plenty of warp charges. And at this point in the game, we're not going to need exit. We're like so far past the usefulness of exit.
Yeah, you really want exit for getting out of ice or getting out of marsh. It's really more beneficial to have that come early.
Yeah, or even like ordeals or something like that.
Sure, yeah.
It's nice to have exit, so you don't have to go through that spike tile, but it's not necessary. But yeah, at this point, warp is totally fine. So, gonna go down here, get our cube, and then we're gonna be pretty much done here. Short Topher means we're gonna go kill Tiamat and then just go blow up the 4 fiends in succession.
Yeah, Topher could be 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Be pretty quick. It is fight all 4 fiends. There are some options for Short Topher, whether you have 2 random fiends at each side, or you have to fight all 4 in a row. I think we have all 4 turned on, so it'll be 4 steps, 4 fiend refights.
Yep. So
Yes,
again,
4x. There was a Kraken. It went quick.
Yeah. So again, as you can see there, because of the way we routed that, we were able to, get the cube and just be right kind of here next to it. If we had gone to Waterfall first, we would have gotten the slab out of there, and granted, we would have been able to do the bottle and the slab together. We could have gone into Sky, but then we'd still have to go back to the Onrak location, and it would be a double dip of Onrak, which is no fun.
Yeah, you really want to avoid those double dips as much as you can. You don't want to try and you can check Earth incentive or Earth spike tiles there if you needed, there are shuffle tiles. But if there's an incentive in Earth, you really don't want to dive that until you have the rod. Just save time wherever you can. To double dipping is you hate to do it.
Hey, the eye would have been unrunnable though, so that would have been, at least it couldn't have ambushed me. But yeah, those wraiths on that ice floor were no good.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than grinding an eye, hitting an off-tile encounter, and like you said, that fun dead party pack, Brack could easily land even on a high-level black belt.
Even something, it doesn't have to be that bad of a spell. There's going to be 8 or 9 of them, so they can whittle down your black belt pretty quick.
Yeah, and the black belt doesn't have like the greatest run chance in the world either, so you could be in a situation where, if maybe you don't even get ambushed, but if you fail a run on like 7 wraiths and they have even cremate or something like that, like he said, that can whittle down 700 HP pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. I should have probably used a fast there. It's fine.
Yeah, temper, what does that do? It adds plus 14 to your attack. But fast doubles your number of hits, so it's just fast is a much better spell to cast in this situation.
So this will probably do about 2,000. Okay,
Okay.
never mind. About 3,500 is what it's going to do. And that's going to pretty much be it. And then we just got to go into our Topher here. Should have saved, dropped the house, and then that's fine. That way I didn't even have to bother trying to run away from that ink highlight. Right, so we're here. And it's what short Topher's going to look like.
Yeah, in that situation, you don't even have to go to an inn. You just house and...
Yep. So these are all the 7 chests that are inside of Topher normally. The 2 validation chests. You've got your, I think it's 4 chests that are on Carrie's floor. There's the Katana, Pro Cape, Pro Ring, and like a huge money chest. And then there's obviously the Mass Immune chest that's on Tia. And I don't know actually what order those chests are in. I'm just kind of looking at them. So here we go. We are here, and I totally didn't buy the loot. Remember earlier when I said we got to buy that loot? Well, I don't have the loot, so
So let you
reset if you do something dumb like that.
thought about telling you that, but I thought it'd be a good experience here to to show.
Nah, it's cool. It like I said, I even mentioned it. I was like, it's one of those things. It's totally easy to forget that you don't have that because you don't really need it until the very end of the game.
You know, I was like, oh, I saw that. I must have it. Yep. So bonking off the loot plate, looping yourself.
Yep.
It happens.
Yep, it happens to the best of us. Even when you're trying to teach people, it'll happen right there. So it's fine though. We remembered that the loot was actually there. I knew it was there. I just kind of spaced. I was just ready to get the game moving.
Might still get sub 50 minutes here, anyways. So
yeah,
good.
And that's with me taking time talking about random stuff there. So again, with these battles here, I mean, we're not really doing a whole lot. Attack, wait, fast, temper, maybe switch it up between the red mage and the black mage, but for the most part, I mean, he's level 40. He's got an extra 20%. Plus, he doesn't have the nerfed crit rate, so he's gonna be doing like redonk damage. Unfortunately, this will probably be the last time you ever see a seed where that crit rate is turned off.
yeah, that's not a common thing to have on. That's almost always enabled just to... Otherwise, the black belt is just too good.
Yeah, too out of control here. Unfortunately, a little bit bad turn order there. Luckily, Kraken just opening up with ice, so it's not like the biggest thing in the world. Did not mean to attack with Budge down there. Stop's gonna probably land on the 2 mages, but it's...
That's fine. They did fast and temper. They did their job.
So we will heal up, because I do want them to live at least long enough to get to Chaos. I was hoping the Thief would have lived a little longer than he did, kind of put him in the front row for those 2 battles, Kraken 2 and Tiamat 2, just to have him up there as a meat shield, but of course got wiped there by Carrie. Fast and temper. So again, not the greatest turn orders, two battles in a row. Oof, thank God for pro rings. Well, thank God for having more than 300 HP, but...
Yeah, the pro ring would block that anyways.
Yeah, if I had the money, I would have grabbed the loot. I would have grabbed the loot just to have the extra 10%. I'm almost done, bud. Huh? No. Okay. All right, so in this situation here, I'm going to put these 2 in the front row to give them the option, or the... I'm basically putting them up as sacrifices to Chaos. And I'm specifically putting Dark Moon in the front row because he has the 1 fast charge and less temper charges. So,
Rude.
I know. Well, you deserve it. So,
Wow! Wow!
So again, just kind of the same stuff. And of course, he still tries to punch Puff in the back row.
That's what you get.
All right, so again, we're just tempering up. I could use the power bonk, if we were in kind of a dire situation where we made it this far and we didn't have our light warriors alive. But yeah, that was a big hit. 3,500 HP. Yep. That's a dead Chaos. So thank you for the GG's, Ego Dev. So tomorrow, I'm thinking for those, I know Ego Dev and Oh my gosh. It was starts with a B. I'm struggling. My life's just a hot mess.
Budge Mono?
No. No. Who did I say? Beach streaming, yes. So
Okay.
Ego Dev and beach streaming are the two. I'm gonna try to squeeze in a
Puff and Pulse. Okay.
yeah, a
Pod
what
review.
are they called? Yes, thank you. Pod review. I'm just gonna keep using bad language on our Twitch channel.
Good job, dude. Well
Yeah,
done.
So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try to get those in because that was for the previous Duckling, the
Last
Duckling
week.
Weekly that's going on currently. Tomorrow, Luffy should be available to post the new Duckling seed, so that'll happen sometime tomorrow. It will be the same flags that I just ran. So if you have not run the current Duckling seed, you have probably until about midday tomorrow to go on ahead and get that in, and then once that's done, once I get off work around 4:30 or so, I'll start working on those VOD reviews for y'all too, and hopefully if there's nothing going on Final Fantasy Randomizer, I'll do it on this channel here, and if not, I'll do it on my private Twitch channel. Then I'll let everybody know, and I'll try not to ping too much around, just because the Duckling roll is pretty big, and I don't want. I don't want you to get the Duckling roll just to get pinged a whole bunch about things that don't matter. Like, I think this is important for Ducklings to see. Like, if you're new and you want to learn the game, this is like pingable. But I'm not gonna try not to get too out of control with those pings for you guys. So, I don't really have anything else outside of. I think that went pretty good. I think that.
Yeah, you saw a pretty smooth grind there. Sometimes it doesn't go as well, but you know where the grinds are. Like we said, Agama's in Volcano, that's always a good one. Eye and Ice, those are sort of those are the big ones. Desert Grind's always available. You get an early canoe, you know, you can do some zombie Ds and ordeals to get some levels. So
Yeah.
there's some options out there.
But yeah, I appreciate everybody for hanging out with us on our Final Fantasy Randomizer Twitch. If you are here and you don't follow us, obviously click the follow. And I don't know if there's like notifications like Twitch or like like YouTube or something, but you know, if you want to be notified when we go live, make sure you click that as well if that's something that's available. Other than that, yeah, Dark Moon, thanks again for doing the restream.
Yepper.
I know, kind of last minute there. And Budge Mono, thanks for hanging out with me while I ran that seed. Hopefully, you know, that was something for you. Something.
That was fun. Hope everybody out there learned something. You saw the master do his craft, so.
Yeah, I think that went pretty well. So again, Forsaken Sadness, 412 GD, 4X 11 GD, whatever. Strebus, Crack Troop, all you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.
Well, we're gonna do announcements now, of course, as always.
No.
You gotta let me do my spiel at the end. That's required.
Oh yeah, so.
It's not for my ego. It's so the ducks know what's going on.
Okay.
Okay, so if you like what you saw, you want to see more, you want to learn all about being a duckling here with the Final Fantasy Randomizer community, or maybe you've been sticking around, you just want to play the game, and you're more than interested to come and be a part of the community. Well then, go to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. You can find links to the Discord and the development Discord right there, along with the randomizer itself, so you can play and join and be a part of the community. We've got these duckling games going on for the next 5 weeks, counting this week. We did the first one last week. Those VODs should be up on YouTube soon, if they're not already. We have the weeklies that we're doing here on Sundays, and then we will have, well, every Sunday except for the week 6, that will be on Monday. And then we have the extra credits that are going to be on Wednesdays, more than likely on Luffy's channel, unless the Final Fantasy Randomizer channel is open, but with Spring Tournament right now, that's a bit up in the air, so we'll just see how that goes. But yes, we will keep you abreast of what channel those will be on, and we'll get those videos going. So come back for the extra credit, which I think Luffy is planning to do extra important BB stuff, so you can get even more black belt training to go along with your black belt training you got so far. Beyond that, we will start on week 6 with the Platy Party. That's our Platypus come and play event. That will run as our reveal streams for weeks 4 through 6. So you get to see a tournament in progress while watching the Duckling reveal streams and learn all about how the platypi play, so you can take them out when you get better than they are. That's always fun. And then June 17th through the 19th, we're going to have the Final Fantasy Randomizer presents the Rando Marathon. That is going to be 3 days of nothing but randomizers from all over the internet. If you're interested in that, you can submit runs through the end of this week. We're also looking for prize donations if you are so interested. And of course, you can just come and watch it on the channel as it's going on. We welcome everyone. So with that, yes, as Gregory was trying to cut me off a couple minutes ago, thank you for watching. This has been a presentation of the Final Fantasy Randomizer community, and we hope we'll see you again soon. See you guys Wednesday for the extra credit.